All right, and then let's do it. So I'm I'm going to jump in and out of the presentation because some of the details I want to kind of go through a site, make things a little more dynamic, like actually get a little more hands-on. So let's get started. Considering this video is recorded, we're going to be publishing this afterwards on our YouTube channel. And in general, we're starting a little more kind of like video content around things we're doing in our office.
Oh, I don't know.
No, the owl is going to pick it up if you're talking.
Yeah, I clicked this by mistake.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, basically all these great conversations we were having in our office, we want to start making them a little more public. Brainstorming sessions, just in general, stuff we're doing, we want to make it a little more available to everyone else out there. So cool, today's topic, personal injury law firm marketing. We're going to analyze Raleigh, North Carolina, SEO potential, best ranking websites, and just going to kind of break down what they're doing, what's going on, and what are the things behind the scenes that maybe are not available. So co-host, so it's myself, marketing officer here at On The Map, been 10 years SEO experience, just love SEO, been doing some fun things here, and and Fernie, my co-host today. Fernie, a couple of words about yourself.
Been working here for 5 years under Chris for most of that time, and yeah, learned a lot along the way. Excited to share some knowledge.
And I think you've been exposed to law firm SEO for a really long time. Yeah, looking at law firm sites, seeing things that are happening. So cool. So today's topics, we're going to go over keyword research process we did. We're going to look at the total addressable market for the search terms in Raleigh. We're going to look at the highest search terms. And then once we've analyzed the search terms, which again, for you guys that's been exposed to personal injury law SEO, some of the search term details might be already kind of common sense because there's a lot of patterns across all markets. And then we'll look at best ranking sites and kind of anatomy behind these sites. We'll dissect one of the sites that our ranking algorithm. It's not, well, it's a very simple formula. We just took some average rankings and we kind of put our own ranking, who we think is ranking the best. So it's kind of a cool, fun list that we're going to maintain for all the locations we're analyzing. And then we'll look at some sites that could break into the rankings, like kind of like what issues they have, and how someone could help them. So let's get started. So keyword research process. This is actually a really interesting concept. Fernie dig pretty deeply in this. So maybe you want to kick it off a couple of words about it?
I'll touch base. So, the process for identifying the best search terms for a lot of these attorneys really comes down to like user intent and people directly searching for the services they offer. So, in a lot of cases, this would happen more in other practice areas outside of personal injury. They'll try to rank websites for search terms that are, a lot of like legal jargon. So the types of cases, so like a Class B felony, for example. Although we'll go after those search terms rather than, the more general search terms that a basic user would type. So for keyword research, we always like going with the most common phrases, so like personal injury attorney, car accident, really diving in under the umbrella of personal injury.
Really the high value topics.
The high value topics, essentially like the ones that are the most expensive on pay-per-click, right? And then for the modifiers, we use lawyer, attorney, and law firm. A lot of people do search for, let's say, car accident Miami, or in this case, car accident Raleigh. Adding car accident lawyer Raleigh changes the search term so much just by adding that,
So what ended up being really cool with this formula, we got 140 phrases. So this combines car accident lawyer without a geo modifier. And if you use tools like Ahrefs or all the ones we're all used to using, it's not going to show you the search volume in Raleigh if you're using non-geo modified terms. And that's like a common, I wouldn't say mistake, but something that people are not paying attention to.
An overlook.
Yeah, what is your rankings without the geo modifiers? Because it's easy to find the geo modified phrases like car accident attorney Raleigh. Yeah, Ahrefs tells you that, but or other tools. But to get the data from car accident attorney without a geo modifier in Raleigh, to find that data, we used AdWords. AdWords keyword tool. So Fernie's been doing these for some of our kind of prospect audits. So people who want to work with us, we do in-depth analysis of the keywords for them. And we build like these little total addressable market kind of search volumes. And they're coming from AdWords keyword planner tool. So we got together 140 phrases. We popped those in the AdWords planner tool. And as you can see here, some of these phrases we're analyzing are injury attorney, injury lawyer. So these are phrases without geo modifiers that people search. And often those go underlooked and not even tracked.
Yeah.
So then if you're not tracking these keywords, how can you improve them?
And mind you also, all of these search terms are like all the data in terms of the volume comes from users in a specific geographical radius, right? Because what's cool about keyword planners, for example, it doesn't make much sense.
Want me to jump in the next slide?
Okay, that's
okay, there you go.
So this is pretty much Raleigh, Durham, metropolitan, like metro area, right? A lot of people commuting to Raleigh and Durham live outside, let's say like in Fayetteville or Rocky Mount, right? All of the search volume is based on the users around this vicinities. What's cool about Keyword Planner is that not only can you do that, but then you can play with it for other practice areas or other type industries. For example, like for ourselves for marketing, rather than doing only searches in Miami, we actually do like nationwide and then add the keyword model and then add Miami to the location, right? So you could really play around with this tool in terms
I'll
of.
jump in a little bit. So it boils down to about 9,000 searches a month. Again, everyone knows search volumes are really estimated, so there could be a band of 20% more and 20% less. But at least this is approximate range we got from these 140 phrases. Oh, sorry. These 140 phrases being searched only in Raleigh, we're looking at around 9,000 searches a month, okay? These are only the high value phrases. So this number might be a little higher than what we would see in like Ahrefs or somewhere else, but this kind of gives us an approximation. How many how many people are actually gonna search that? So.
And on top of it, as being personal injury, we have such a broad reach is because people are driving to these areas. So like there could be somebody who lives outside of Raleigh, for example, who could get in a car accident going to Raleigh and will hire a law firm out of Raleigh, right? So that's why it's a little bit broader than just Raleigh itself, even though Raleigh is the target market that we're going after.
So search volume wise, if we're looking at it being categorized, again, no surprises for those who have been working in personal injury space. Highest search volume terms always are the personal injury, just general phrases. Then second highest is car accidents. Car accidents always the highest value terms. All personal injury attorneys want to rank for car accident terms. And then it breaks out to workers' comp, motorcycle, truck, slip and fall, and wrongful death. And really, again, for those who have been in the space, they already know. Okay, car accident terms are the highest value terms. Those are the ones that really drive the highest value leads as well. Some attorneys are like, they want to focus on personal injury attorney terms, but often just like the general personal injury attorney terms, they might not drive the best conversions because I might be looking for personal injury attorney lawyer without even fully understanding what kind of personal injury case I have. Do I even have a personal injury case?
Yeah, it generates a lot of like inquiries of people trying to see if they could sue, right? Let's say like from product liability to, like getting injured at a Walmart or a Home Depot, right? Those personal injury general terms generate more people calling, asking like, hey, this happened to me, can I sue?
Yeah.
And then the car accident ones generate more like, dude, I just got hit by a car.
Yeah.
I'm hurt. I need an attorney. I need a call. So they like those just they could, it's the money maker, right?
So let's take a look here at some of the CPCs. So top 5 highest search volume terms. And here's the fun fact: none of these are geo modifier terms. Personal injury lawyer searched the most, approximately 1,000 searches a month. Car accident lawyer, approximately 800. Again, no geo modified terms. You can see one click for car accident lawyer is $150. What I found interesting, actually, 5th highest search term was workers' comp lawyer, and that one's at $185. So there's some interesting things happening with workers' comp, I imagine, in a Raleigh area. And that could be a phrase that personally, I think I might even overlook workers' comp.
Yeah, because
Hey, Chris, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, just real quick. So the data that we're looking at here, we're not using modifiers specifically in the keyword like as it's written out, but you guys pulled this from Raleigh, correct?
yeah, so it's
Exactly.
geo-modified, it just doesn't have the location at the end. So it's just a term but researched by users in that map where we showed before. What's cool, what's the highlight here, I mean, you can see the car accident, auto accidents are higher despite personal injury having higher search volume. And then highlight what Chris was saying, 185 for workers' comp, you know, pay-per-click in Google is pricing that keyword because they have some sort of metrics or data behind that, right? Whether the people who are running ads for these search terms are generating calls who are lasting longer than maybe personal injury attorney, or they're getting really good just feedback from the people putting ads for those search terms, letting them know like, hey, these people are making money, let's price this search term higher.
Cool, so let's quickly run through the highest terms that we found, so top 20 terms. Now you can start seeing some of the geo modifiers. So 8 and 9, we have, actually position 9 was Raleigh, personal injury lawyer Raleigh, but the rest are still non-geo modified terms. And then in the second tier, we have more geo modifier terms, car accident lawyer here. But again, you'll see discrepancies. Like if you search this now in Ahrefs, it shows 500 searches a month just for geo-modified terms. So there's a bit of fluctuations happening all the time in different segments of data that are being looked at. But so I would take this more as like indicating factors of like which keywords to rank for, or is there even search volume at all? All right, cool. Now the fun stuff. So Fernando and actually our assistant here put some last minute research together for us with some really interesting data. So
yeah, shout out to Mariano for that.
Yeah, Mariano, that was awesome.
Coming through.
Literally came in the office and we're like, hey, we need help with these couple data points. So what we did is we basically created our own kind of like little rank score for the top 20 best performing websites. So how did we get this data? So we basically looked at organic rankings and Google Map rankings, and then we pulled an average for these rankings. Oh, I think I'm
Sheet 1, yeah.
Yeah, sheet 1, sorry. So let's go through it one more time. So we have organic rankings and map rankings. So what kind of keywords did we analyze? So we looked at who's ranking the best for, what kind of ranking you have for personal injury lawyer Raleigh. Then we looked at what position are you currently ranking for car accident lawyer Raleigh. And then we looked at your map rankings because, as we all know, map rankings equally important as organics, and honestly, probably even more important than organics because map CTR is much higher than organic CTR. So then we looked at the rankings these particular sites have in maps, and then we pulled a little average ranking between all those 4 categories. And bam, this is our scores for the best ranking websites. So the best ranking website we realized is Ridley Law Firm. So we're gonna go in more details about Ridley Law Firm. But just some kind of fun little facts about them. So their average traffic is around 7,500 visitors a month. So if you're saying that 10,000 was our overall target, total addressable market was around 9,000 searches a month, they're driving around 7,500 visitors, which you can kind of say it's in equal range, right?
It's really good. And also keep in mind, you'll see some people who have more traffic than the total addressable market. That's for multiple reasons. You know, one, some of these attorneys and law offices have multiple locations, so they're targeting other cities outside of Raleigh. But in addition to that, some of them are also targeting keywords that aren't in our research because they're not necessarily the highest user intent search terms. Like, for example, car accident Raleigh, right? Rather than car accident attorney Raleigh. It's a common thing for personal injury websites to rank for those types of search terms, aside from the legal search terms, right? So like car accident, lawyer, car accident, and a lot of them like write blogs on like big accidents that happen in the city. and those get picked up. So keep that in mind. Another really cool takeaway and like something we found is if you could see Whitley Law Firm has less traffic, generates less traffic and ranks for less organic keywords.
Yeah.
Than like the two people below them.
Yeah.
But then their traffic value is much higher, right? Now, do you guys know what identifies like where they get this traffic, like how this traffic value metric is created? So it's not necessarily how much money they're making from the traffic. It means more from their current rankings, the value of keywords, right? So based on pay-per-click. So if they're ranking for personal injury attorney and that ranks, that costs on pay-per-click like $135, that adds to that traffic value. So again, the traffic value is not the amount of money they make from these search terms and from the traffic, but more the search terms that they do have indexed and they are ranking for, what's the value of those search terms on pay-per-click, right?
And I'm going to steal your thunder a little bit here, but on the same pattern, what's interesting is to look at how many, another data point we pulled was index pages. So is there a correlation between well-ranking websites and how many pages they have? So it's interesting, the sites that are ranking, they have relatively high amount of pages compared to some that are not ranking. Like our boy RD injury law right there, the 10 pages, which means, there's a lot of potential for them. But some of the sites still on the lower end, 100 pages or so. And then there's some odd ones like this one with 2,000 pages. Honestly, I gotta be honest with you guys, I crawled the site and they have indexed some pages that shouldn't even be there. So this is just like an indicator also that there's some issues on some of these websites that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
All right, so let's dive a little deeper in what are these websites that are doing really well. Okay, so some of these like, look, 19,000 visitors, like what could they be possibly doing? But let's focus on the one with the highest traffic value, because just driving traffic, like Fernando said, there could be phrases you're ranking for that are not driving any conversions. Like our whole philosophy is results that matter, our core value. Where is it? Right there, get results, right? So getting results means getting conversions, that's gonna be new cases for our clients. So let's understand, how is Ridley Law Firm generating these results that they have? All right, so this is their site, just kind of quick intro. Ridley Law Firm. Cool, so what are their best ranking pages? So these are their top 10 pages. Ridley Law Firm, their homepage is actually ranking for the personal injury lawyer Raleigh, and we'll show you guys some of the optimizations, and also some North Carolina terms that are correlated with personal injury geomodifier. Then, of course, we talked about car accidents, right? So Raleigh car accident lawyer. And here's the interesting factor, and Fernando kind of mentioned that already a little bit. They're branching out in other cities. So the best performing websites usually have encompassed cities, not just the Raleigh, which is the hometown or their main office. They're also ranking in other cities around themselves, like Charlotte, Durham, etc. So that's very common, because now the search volumes are so limited. So how can you expand your total addressable market? Well, you go in other cities, because the research we did today is only on Raleigh. So we could do a whole state encompassing research as well, but that's not, not every law firm has that resource or capacity, because now you either need offices there, like you need to have logistics to be able to serve people in several cities. And, sometimes law firms actually open offices in other cities just so they could target new markets. Very common.
Yeah, very common.
Okay, so let's open actually their website, and let's look at their optimizations, okay?
What's also cool is that you'll notice, in most of the bigger cities in the United States, usually the law firm that ranks position 1, page 1, has other locations, which just goes to show that they're making money from SEO,
Right.
that they're investing for SEO in other locations that might be secondary. So it's a good proof that they're getting conversions from the traffic.
So their homepage ranks for following terms: personal injury lawyer Raleigh, personal injury lawyer North Carolina. And I want to hone in on this because we're going to see that they have really done a good job with optimizations versus some of the other websites. Because some sites are kind of lost whether they should optimize also their site for statewide terms or they shouldn't. So it's interesting, they haven't fully optimized their homepage for statewide terms. They put the keyword in title tag and in their H1 tag. However, if you do Command F, we can see that North Carolina is sprinkled through their content 4 times. I spoke a little bit with Kevin. I don't know if Kevin's here too, but he made an interesting remark because I asked him, how can you, is this common that you could rank a website without any state optimizations in the title tag or heading tags? And he said it's possible that they have a lot of citations that are referencing the whole kind of like North Carolina concept, and that's why they're ranking. But I would say also the fact that they have included it in several, like serving all of North Carolina.
Yeah, and the way they include it is also very clever because as you can see, it also includes wherever there's North Carolina, Raleigh's also involved.
Mm-hmm.
So they're talking about Raleigh, but they tie in North Carolina. So instead of like dedicating a whole entire column or section to the state, they're just tying it in there with the city. So it looks clean. It doesn't look too targeted for.
And now, next part, I want to, on the same note, going a little deeper, so we can see here, very common areas served, right? We were just talking about, bigger law firms, they function in several locations. Super common. But what often happens is, and I'll have an example in a little bit, when you create this area served dropdown, you might create a new location, which is cool. But then this might present a question. So what do I do with the homepage? Do I create another inner page that's targeting Raleigh? Or I can just link the homepage in a dropdown. So we go to Raleigh, it sends us back to the homepage. So basically, their homepage is serving as the Raleigh and state optimization, which I think also plays a factor why they're able to rank for the state terms, because the homepage is optimized for the state and their main city. And then you simply go in other locations like they had Charlotte, etc. And then this page serves as the homepage, technically as a homepage for Charlotte personal injury lawyers. We haven't really looked at their rankings there. I'm sure they're all right. But then this goes deeper in their, respective content hubs. So this should go to Charlotte car accident lawyer. So now if we went to Fayetteville, our sidebar should be landing us in the Fayetteville car accident lawyer. Yep. And that's how their content silos are working out in all locations. And that's why they're having pretty good results. Amazing results, I would say.
Yeah, so this website it's a great model for all other competitors to follow on what they're doing right.
Yes.
It's well organized, the content is properly written, it's very clever, it's not too clunky and SEO-y, like keyword stuff, They're doing a really good job handling their SEO.
Just to reiterate the structure one more time, like they are interlinking the homepage and the areas served, and that goes back to their homepage, and that's why the homepage is also being served as the entry point for, hey, we're serving the entire North Carolina. All right, now.
Can I challenge you? Not challenge you, but can I bring something up?
Yeah.
So that's Raleigh, and it shoots it back to personal injury, right? But then we saw in the content hubs for the other locations that go to car accident. How do we get to that car accident attorney Raleigh page? Is the homepage optimized for that, or what's the URL path to that car accident page that also generates a lot of traffic?
So twofold answer.
Mm-hmm.
So if your homepage is optimized for personal injury lawyer Raleigh in North Carolina, then your first level access here in a dropdown where it's practice areas, if I go to car accident page, it takes me to the Raleigh car accident page. Mm. So that's kind of like if you're calling it as your primary city, you're going to interlink it in the practice areas as your primary city.
Okay.
Now, if you want to access, let's say, like you were saying, the Charlotte page, mm-hmm. Charlotte page has its own hub. Let's test this. Sometimes sites create dynamic URLs, and this would go to actually Charlotte. We've done that in the past for some of our clients, which would possibly improve their silo. I don't know, it's debatable. But if you want to access the Charlotte car accident page, it's coming through here where it's in the sidebar.
So now we're in a whole other section
Yeah.
on the website. And then ideally, this would be the page that if I'm searching for a car accident attorney in Charlotte,
This,
I'm already landing on this.
yeah, you're going to land on this 100%.
Yeah.
And if you look at their rankings, I think, sorry, Charlotte, I think they rank for with this page. Just a quick. Yeah, they rank, and look, and it is the Charlotte page.
Beautiful.
So-
So show the importance of like URL structure and.
Yeah, I would say not so much even URL
Content
structure
silos.
as, yeah, the content silos. Because these are dynamic. They change on every city
Location.
locations, yeah. So, and then if I go to, let's say, Kingston, that one's a smaller area, so let's see what happens here. See Kingston personal injury alert? Okay, cool. Yep, Kingston car accident alert. So it's a dynamic setup, but it helps from content structuring perspectives, and that's, you know, clean optimizations, and that's why they have good rankings. All right, not diving too far into backlinks, but let's just kind of see what is it looking like for them backlink lines. So they have 378 referring domains, and their website DR is 26. Okay, nothing like insanely high, but I think what's playing really good factor for them is good site structure, good content. And then let's see what's going on with their GMBs. So here's their GMB metrics. So 53 reviews, and their average GMB ranking is 4.8. So again, nothing crazy, but you know, seems like that's getting the job done for them.
I have another quick question, Chris. So, you know, you see how they have like less reviews, still good amount of stars, like good score, 4.8. Would it help? Does it help a business if, let's say, they have 53 reviews here, but then in the neighbor city they have like 150 and 5 stars, and in the following city they have another GMB? Does it affect? Does that tie in? Does that help this Google My Business if they have other Google My Business in other cities doing very well with good reviews and good score, or is that doesn't affect the score at all?
I haven't read too many studies that would answer that directly, but I would say each location needs its own reviews.
Mhm.
So if I have great reviews in Miami, but no reviews in Orlando, that's not helping my Orlando location. Orlando location is its own entity, so you need to build reviews from people there.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So that was a quick synopsis on the best ranking site. Just to maybe jump into a couple other sites so we can compare the anatomies. So let's say who we have here, Lawyer NC. NC already implies North Carolina, right? So they're trying to rank in North Carolina, not just Raleigh. Okay, so let's check out their locations interlinking, kind of similar. Okay, so this is personal injury lawyers, serving Fayetteville. Okay, a little bit different. So let's see where the home, are they doing similar thing as the site before? No, they're not. So look, if we went to locations page, they have their own inner page, which we could say is competing pages, but in this case, the difference how they're doing it is following. So look, their homepage is optimized for North Carolina personal injury lawyers, okay? And it's also a strategy. There's no right or wrong way. It's just, if you can get the rankings, you get the rankings. The site before we looked at was ranking with their homepage for North Carolina and Raleigh with just their homepage. They didn't need 2 pages to be indexed, but Lawyer NC, their SEO team is testing different strategy. They're optimizing homepage just for North Carolina, which also is very logical, makes sense. And they also have their Raleigh page as a separate landing page. So it's debatable what's better. I mean, in this case, we saw the other side outranking them. But again, that's just a strategy how you decide to optimize the site. And then for their kind of top rankings, we'll just quickly see. No, it logged me out. All right. We'll add that in show notes. But their best rankings, again, it's pretty straightforward. They are going to be ranking for, again, location pages, and I think they had some also long tail phrases with some more general personal injury terms. Okay, cool. Now that we covered what the best ranking websites look like, let's look at some that are not doing so well. So we have this website here, Gmd Law. I want to see where are they in our, they did make the top 20. So again, we're looking at the sites that could implement some relatively easy things and start driving really valuable traffic. So Gmd Law, average ranking. So in our average ranks, they have average ranking of 21. Domain rating is 9. They have 94 referring domains, which is relatively good. Also 2,700 index keywords, also relatively good. 300 visitors, but traffic value is really low. And here's the example I want to use is, why do they have more pages than Ridley Law? Technically should be driving more traffic too, or at least doing something in a sense that if you have more pages, you should drive more traffic, okay? And then for GMB reviews, nothing crazy is going on there. And their rankings also kind of strong page 2 site. So I thought it'd be fun to look at their site and see if we can identify some issues. So I'm gonna remind the previous example we looked at. The site had clean structures, right? We can easily identify what page is optimized for what. But now let's look at a site that maybe doesn't have that clean of a structure. Okay, so here's a some fun optimizations, right? So their H1 tag, protecting your rights and securing your future. So think about it. This is your homepage, and that's your optimization on a homepage. That's like, you know, you're putting a table of contents as a title of your book that you're writing. Title tag at least is okay, but also a little bit confusing. Why are you using car accident attorney in homepage optimization? Again, SEO is all about like just looking at sites that rank and restructuring your site to the similar models. Here's already 2 clear indicators of their optimizations being subpar. Not even subpar, just bad. And they still are on page 2, okay? And that's great. Like, you're sitting on money. Like, literally, those couple of changes would make the site jump. But that's not where this ends. So now we have, remember how we looked at last 2 sites? There was 2 clean optimizations, right? Either using homepage as your state, and then you have inner pages for all your locations, or you're using your homepage as your Raleigh end state page, just like Ridley Law Firm had done. Now, Burton Law Firm is not doing one or the other. One, their homepage was under optimized, and now if you're looking at their personal injury page, something interesting going on here. So, okay, title tag. All right, I can live with this title tag. But my issue is, if your best ranking competitors are optimizing their homepage for personal injury attorney Raleigh, why aren't you doing the same? Why are you optimizing this inner page, which is okay? The page, well, could use more content, but it was just a simple, quick identifier that there's some issues with this site, okay? And then the other fun fact we found was that they had 1,500 pages. So usually 1,500 pages tells me that the site, whoever's maintaining the site is indexing content that's completely irrelevant. So let's see if we can find some content that's just not at all necessary.
And while Chris finds that, you can tell that the SEO team, you know, behind this campaign at some point tried to do like the right thing, because they'll have like something that should be like the H1, they'll have it as the H2, or, you know, I don't know if you guys saw on the footer, they have all of these like pages that are titled by the search terms. So like they'll have a truck accident attorney North Carolina page. So like there's some sort of intention there, but the execution is just completely off.
Cool. Well, I have quite a few here. So truck accident archives, page 2 of 2. Usually category pages shouldn't be indexed unless, well, they could be indexed, but all of your pagination is not necessary. So pagination is basically right here. You have page 2, page 3, page 4, very common for e-commerce sites. In this case, I'm not sure what is the purpose of why are they indexing all these truck accident category pages. You could just index one, not all of them. And let's see, what kind of content are they writing? Cancel and see 3 hurt when tractor trailer runs red light on. Okay, so like Fernie was saying, this used to probably be some kind of SEO tactic they're trying. Hey, let's write content about recent car accidents or truck accidents that happened, which could help to some extent, but what we're seeing more and more is that websites need to keep this kind of like your site index very clean, and you want to keep the pages that are driving some form of traffic. If you have a bunch of articles that are not indexed, like, well, they're indexed, but they're not driving traffic or they're not ranking for any keywords, like, it's kind of like you're wasting the index of Google's crawl, like, which is basically crawling your site without any much purpose because this information is not really helping. So might as well just put it as no index. So that's an issue for me, that they have so many pages that are indexed and they're not really helpful pages. And then there's another interesting factor that I want to show you guys. So when I crawl their site, I found 2 pages that are optimized for, let's see if I can zoom this in a little bit. 2 pages for car accident attorney in Raleigh. That's just complete, one-on-one case of keyword cannibalization. Like, again, you're indexing 2 exact optimization pages. The issue that happens with that is Google can decide, well, not that it can decide, it basically gives value to both pages. So if Google's trying to give you value to 2 pages, you end up on page 2 or below for both of those pages. And we didn't, well, let's quickly see, what was their car accident ranking, right? Probably not that good. Car accident 25, position 25. So just by removing that one page, it would shoot up a couple spots, maybe even more.
And you guys would be surprised on how many times utilizing this is one of the easiest ways to, have someone really like trust you and buy in and hire you for the service. But what's cool is that this is something that you highlight, before they engage in business with you. And then, as Chris said, you do something as simple as removing that page or, not having those pages compete against each other, and then instantly it jumps up. So really goes to show, when you actually show this and then you implement it and you see the results, and some of these like best practices that these people or these SEO teams might be missing out on, how important some of these simple best practices are in having everything really clean and proper.
Cool, we have like 7 minutes left, so I'm gonna breeze through the last couple slides. So next site that I want to look into was Thorpe Law. I actually really like the site. There are optimizations, so we're going to look at those as well. But let's see, where is Thorpe Law? So Thorpe Law, in our, let's see, what's their average rank score? So average rank score is 13, so pretty good, right? So they are probably missing out on a lot of traffic. So what I want to point out for their site, domain rating is 3. So that's going to be main factor we're going to talk about, right? Organic keyword 600, total traffic 200. Traffic value also nothing crazy, but traffic value would go up as this number is going to go up, because traffic value is, like Fernie was saying, calculated based on the basically keyword search volume, your position, and click-through rate. So if you're ranking number 1, your average click-through rate is around 20-30%. So that's where Ahrefs is giving you this traffic value. And it fluctuates a lot, but it's just a fun kind of a little metric to look at. So index pages, they're kind of on lower end, 127. We have some theories why is that. Gmd reviews, pretty good. And then here's their rankings. So let's see, personal injury lawyer, they're in position 7. Great. That's, they're on page 1 for a high value term. Car accidents, page 2. Personal injury maps, also page 2. and well, not really page 2 for maps, but you know, they're on the lower end in below 10 positions. So their map rankings are kind of struggling, but for organics, they're there. So let's kind of see what could be going on. Like, are they having, first thing you would always think about is like, what's my low hanging fruit improvements? We should be like on-site optimization, but their on-site is actually pretty good. Homepage optimized for Raleigh, title tag, also Raleigh. Then my next thing I would look at is, all right, do they have a competing page? This is not really competing page. I'm not a fan of it, but it can stay there. So injured in Raleigh, so it's not really saying this page is optimized for Raleigh personal injury attorney. This is more like a, I don't even know what the purpose is. I would say this purpose of this page is kind of like for interlinking.
Yeah, I think this is the perfect page that ranks for those like very like general search terms like truck accident in North Carolina, you know, rather than like an attorney page. I don't think there's much attorney mentioned in this content. I think I also surfed through this page, Chris.
Yeah, well, let's see, attorney. Some attorney. Yeah, I don't know. I probably, if we would work with Torp Law, we would remove this page. Just kind of thinking from our best practices, but we can stay. Now, what is going on? Why aren't they ranking? Any guesses? Alan, what do you think?
All
right, cool. I'll hint you on the answer with the next slide. Oh, by the way, here's the rankings. Well, we looked at those. But here's the fun fact with their rankings. I think they're just missing out on backlinks. So if you put Ridley Law Firm right next to Torp Law, there's a clear DR difference. So almost 20 something points. Okay, and where's that coming from? Ridley Law Firm has 380 referring domains and Torp has only 100. So just that difference is what's going to help their site rank better. Okay. So again, do follow links. Ridley Law Firm has 200, Torp has only 50. So by improving these metrics, that's how their ranking is going to improve. So this becomes more of a off-site battle, off-site link building battle than just, you know, fixing technical SEO issues. Another thing that I thought was interesting was that they do have less content than competitors. So index pages, 127. And like Bitly has 1,100. So if we were to start doing aggressive link building, we also need to make sure we're expanding on their content as well. Now, looking at their site, they are not targeting any other location but Raleigh. So I don't know if Google maybe is saying, oh, this is a bigger law firm because there are more locations. Possible, but this is also an opportunity for them to expand if they wanted to down the road. So that's just a quick takeaway of what's going on with this site and why aren't they ranking. I would say just heavy focus on quality link building would be very helpful for them to build up this DR that they're missing out on. Okay, and then just the last slide. I just thought it was some interesting findings. Because when you're starting to analyze sites in bulk, you start seeing similarities. And one that, besides the things we already covered, that seemed really interesting is that some of these sites are hosted on the same IPs. So what does that mean? So people who are webmasters of these sites are hosting it on the same hosting, which often means it's the same company working on it. Okay, so from top 20 websites, we saw 4 sites are hosted on the same hosting, including our friend here, Torp. And let's see. So who is this company that's behind these four websites? And here we can see it's Scorpion Marketing. Okay, so what this means is that, let's just verify it. Okay. Oh, okay, logo's not here, but pretty safe to say it's Scorpion Marketing. Let's see this one. I think we have the logo here. Yep, Scorpion right here. And also this side. Okay, we don't have the logo here, but we know it's the same hosting, so it would be really coincidental. And if you scroll through these sites, you can also see the similarities. So it's kind of taboo topic often. How many websites could a company work with in one market? In our, on the map, we have exclusivity agreements where we have 3 spots per metropolitan location. So, you know, a company can buy all 3 slots, so then they have full exclusivity. As far as Scorpion exclusivities, I'm not sure, but, you know, this could be an interesting situation where the websites are ranking, you know, fighting against each other without really knowing it. Or, you know, we can dissect their quality of the performance, or maybe even find patterns between it. And then here's a couple other ones. So I thought this was interesting. So the site we looked at before, the Lawyer NC, that was one of the best ranking sites. Let's see who's behind it. Oh, Consult Labs, good job. You guys done a pretty solid work. And this site also is ranking relatively good. And oh, I guess we don't have the footer link here.
Site by consultlabs.com.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So it's just kind of fun little fact that we can dig through. And then we had also two here, Edward Kirby, which both of these sites actually could use some help. But we'll publish our performance data in the show notes too. So this can be, anyone can play around with this and kind of dig deeper if you're interested. Yeah, no footer link here, and same goes to this site, to the other one as well. But again, we can see that it's on the same hosting, so there's probably some interesting factors behind that. All right, so that sums up our conversation today. Maybe some last minute questions or just thoughts. No? All right, cool. Well, that means we did a pretty good job explaining everything.
Yeah.
What did you guys think? Was it insightful, interesting?
It's really cool having a bird's eye view of a whole entire market. That's essentially what this is. You know, we could look at this from the top. If I was like one of the partners at this law firm, I'd die for this information. Because here you really have a good, like I said, like you have a real good bird's eye view on what your competitors are doing right, what they're doing wrong. You know, you have this instance where Scorpion has 4 people out of the top 20, right? Who really gets the service or gets the front page of Google out of those 4? Is it the one who pays the most? Is it the one who's been with them the longest? So there's a lot of things to look into. But another thing that's really cool about seeing all this in a bird's eye view is, and kind of like appreciation comment to Whitley's SEO team. I mean, the website's beautiful, it's structured beautiful, it's, you know, so organized, the content's good. And it's just such a good example on, you know, how implementing the best practices for SEO and doing the, you know, the little things right, how far it could take you. So shout out to them. Yeah.
I mean, there's always room to improve.
Yes, there is.
Okay, cool. Any favorite next markets we should analyze? I think we're gonna do like Austin. Because they're really big markets, there's a lot more to dissect. So kind of starting with these gives us like a more interesting eyes.
What about Chicago and surrounding areas?
Chicago, okay. Chicago's a heavy hitter market, but yeah, we can do that. That'll be interesting. All right, cool. Well, thanks everyone, and till our next video.
Sweet.